Hello there, YouTube audience. I just realized that you weren't live, or at least ready to be live there. Either way, you're up now. Welcome to OSR's Xfinity Series race here on Thursday night. Lap 11 tuning in. We've already seen some exciting lead changes, but Robert Barber, Ryan Pelfrey up front, James Curl, River Hayes, and Russ Despain in your top five as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing here in Bristol. Flagman waves, and we're back green. Barber gets out to a clean jump. James Curl's going to look to the outside of Ryan Pelfrey. Side by side, and Curl's going to squeeze by. Pelfrey's going to fall back to third. River Hayes, he is settled into that fourth spot. Scott Formosa sitting fifth. Everybody getting a fairly clean run here is Formosa and Hayes are going to battle side by side. That's Hayes on the bottom. He started on the pole here tonight and falling back through the field just a little bit. Formosa's going to take that spot away. We look through the rest of the field. No bubbles, no troubles for everybody. Another green flag run underway here. Lap 15 of 150. These lap times are going to click by really quick. This is a half-mile high-bank racetrack. These drivers are going to be in the sub-16-second lap times all night here tonight. I look forward to seeing these guys put on a great show. Ryan Pelfrey's going to squeeze around James Curl there. Pelfrey's actually led a few laps here tonight. Fell back off of Robert Barber getting by. Barber actually just clocked the fastest time of the night of 15:39 for that driver. And he is sitting 1.1 out in front of Ryan Pelfrey. That'll be a story to follow, is how far can Barber get out. And knowing this field's size and where we're at, a longer green flag run could materialize. What does that look like for tire management and conservation? Right now, Barber is on a tear, 1.3 seconds out front. Another fast lap here. James Curl ran a 15:25. Continue to pick up a little bit of pace as this track completely gets shaded over. Going to put on a little bit of grip for these Xfinity cars. Barber out front, though. He is in a commanding lead, 2.3 seconds over Ryan Pelfrey. James Curl sitting third. Formosa and Hayes sitting fourth and fifth. Everybody single filed out through the field as we take a look a little further back. Nobody fighting for much of a battle. They have settled in here, lap 23. While we've got the opportunity, though, it's getting a little busy up here in front of Lane Hosler. Let's ride on board with Lane as he makes a couple laps around Bristol. A lot of off-throttle time for these drivers here tonight. A lot of them letting the corner roll fairly free. And it's starting to get a little congested again. Right here back behind Ryan Pelfrey. That's James Curl, Scott Formosa, River Hayes. Lane Hosler's in the striking opportunity here, and so is Despain. And then a little bit of a gap to Derek Grigsby. Aaron Jackson sitting ninth. He got tangled up just a little bit a little while ago with Patrick Schaefer. That brought out the first caution. But right now, Aaron Jackson actually challenging Grigsby for that spot. That is going to be for 8th. They'll be side by side through the corner. Oh, Jackson has to save it. Slides up high and is able to get that car recovered before it's all said and done. Looking up front here, now it's starting to get sporty. That's Pelfrey. He's fallen back. Hayes is going to squeeze by. Pelfrey was sitting second there for a minute. Not sure, may have what happened to him, but he has fallen all the way back to 6th. Here, lap 32. So that'll be a story we need to pay close attention to. A little bit of a come-and-go moment here for some of these drivers. These tires starting to wear in just a little bit. All but probably, we'll call it 26 green flag laps so far. Lap times have started to taper off just a little bit. We have seen 15.3s as the fastest lap, and last time by, even our leader was down into the 15.8s as Barber continues to pull away from the rest of the field. 4 seconds on the lead here as Barber got a commanding lead early here tonight at Bristol. Formosa is going to start looking at the outside line, rolling the corner a lane or two higher than James Curl behind him. Or James Curl in front of him, rather. And then Hayes is right there on the tire tracks as well, right down to the bottom. 2 different driving styles. You're going to accomplish 2 different things. This is a fixed set series, so everybody has the opportunity to run the same setup. But you've got to find the driving style of the car. You got to find the style that you can work around this racetrack while you also get the tires. And you basically got to accommodate yourself around the setup. And that's what we're seeing, these driving styles starting to change with Formosa going high. James Curl actually now electing to move up the racetrack just a little bit. And then Formosa's going to feel a little bit of pressure here. Here comes Hayes underneath him. That's going to trap Hayes down there on the bottom, and Formosa can't quite come down the racetrack at all. Can't open the car. I'm sorry, Hayes can't open the car up. As you see there, he's going to fall back and fall back in line. Pelfrey has fallen all the way back to 6th. Then it's Despain, Jackson, Whitmore, and Derek Grigsby there, sitting in 10th. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Turn 1, Ohio Sim Racing action returns to the channel. Robert Barber leads here at Bristol. Lap number 41. Again, my name's Sean Fitz. I appreciate you being here. If this is your first time tuning in, or if you're a new, or if you're a reoccurring member, we appreciate the support. If you don't mind, please like the stream wherever you're watching it. That'd be on Twitch, or I'm sorry, on YouTube or Facebook. We'd appreciate the support as these drivers continue to make these fast laps here around Bristol. We're already closing in on a third of the way through tonight's race, and this battle right here continues to play out. That's James Curl sitting in 3rd. Formosa and Hayes have been right behind in the last 10 laps or so, back and forth, trying to jockey for position. So far, as you see there, nobody able to really make a move. Track position has become a little bit more difficult as these tires start to wear. These drivers should stop around lap 75 or 80. They do have 2 tires in the pits tonight and have the opportunity to come in and change those. They will not make it all the way on fuel as Robert Barber starts looking at the tail of the field. That's Scott Hobson's going to go a lap down here as Barber has continued to open up that lead. It's actually, I say that, take it back. It started to stabilize. That lead has now moved down to just right around the 4-second mark and kind of stopped the gains. Barber has, right before the end of the right before the caution came out, really had a strong run going. Drove all the way through the field very quickly and up 6 spots. Took the lead away from Pelfrey and then just disappeared into the sunset here at the Great Coliseum. Carl's still sitting P2, and that pressure he was feeling with Scott Hobson, or I'm sorry, with Scott Formosa rather, River Hayes, well, that's tapered off just a little bit. This group is going to have to work around some lap traffic here eventually as well. As Hosler is settled into that 5th place. Ryan Pelfrey, he had some trouble there, and it looks like he's going to be the head of the snake here. As he's got a little bit of a bottleneck behind him. Pelfrey's just trying to hang on. He is sitting 6th, Despain 7th, Aaron Jackson 8th, Steve Whitmore, and Chris Hockley sitting 10th at the moment. I think that was Whitmore we saw get a little loose behind Aaron. That's more checkup loose. You can't get into the brakes too hard, but you don't want to lift too much either. Everybody following nose to tail here right off the bumper of Ryan Pelfrey. So far tonight, passing looks like it's going to be pretty difficult here at this half-mile high bank, Bristol Motor Speedway. Aaron Jackson all over the bumper. Despain, he's going to get checked up. Now Whitmore's going to have to move to the high line. That's going to shake this group up. Oh, Whitmore and Jackson are going to get tight. Jackson down to the bottom, Whitmore up to the high side. That's side-by-side battle here. The caution's out. And Brad Lee is in trouble. A ton of smoke coming from the 83 car. Here on lap 53, let's take a look and find out what may have brought this caution out here for the 2nd time at Bristol. Brad all by himself here as he's heading down into the turn. Heading down into turn 3 or 4. I'm sorry, that was 3 or 4. That just loses in a quarter exit and unfortunately noses it into the inside wall. That is going to end his competitive night here for Brad Lee here tonight at Bristol. Under caution for the 2nd time here tonight. Lap 55. We're a third of the way through already. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car back down pit road. The green flag is out. Lap 56. I'm sorry, lap 58. Everybody came down pit road. River Hayes was able to take hard advantage of that top pit spot and take the lead away from Robert Barber. Barber's now going to settle into 3rd. Curl's going to move to the high line. Then it's going to be Lane Hosler pressuring Barber. That's going to be for 3rd place right there. Then Scott Formosa in the top 5. Pelfrey's got a new set of Goodyears on that car. He's sitting 6th at the moment. Despain, Whitmore, Jackson and Hockley, your top 5 or top 10 rather. Brian Torrey, Derek Grigsby, Patrick Schaefer, Taylor Lockler, J.R. Hobson, Scott Hobson, and Brad Lee. Your full field here tonight. Up front, James Curl just put the fastest lap up, a 15:12. The 51 car putting up some impressive speed here. But Robert Barber right there on the bumper. Keep in mind, right before the caution came out, that driver, he had a 4-second lead out on the field. And man, is he rolling that high line. Made that look effortless in that 8 car. Now going after our leader. This is going to be a fight for the lead here. River Hayes up to the high line. Robert Barber to the inside. Hayes is going to be able to hold him off for 1 quarter. Can he do it for 2? No. Robert Barber's going to spin. Robert Barber noses it into the wall, and the caution's out at Bristol. What a huge, huge spin by Robert Barber. Had a commanding pace here tonight, and now he's got significant damage on that 8 car. River Hayes gonna re-rack the lead. We just saw everybody come down here. They do have another set of tires in the pits, but it's only been 10 laps, so we will not see anybody come down except for Barber to come down to get some of that damage fixed. And we'll continue to follow the running order and talk about now the strategy. Who's got the car? Now things are going to be a little different and heat up here under the lights at Bristol. You're watching Turn 1. We should see the pace car lights turn off right here. They get the 1 to go signal from the flag man. And they'll go back green flag, racing lap number 68. I want to make sure I give the opportunity to thank OSR for continuing to have Turn 1 call their races each and every season. We appreciate the support from these guys. And in turn, want to point you all to OhioSimRacing.com for all the latest information, schedules, series, and more. Get registered, come racing with OSR, OhioSimRacing.com. The pace car lights are off. River Hayes, James Curl, Scott Formosa, Lane Hosler, all ready to re-rack it and run it again here. We're officially closing in on the halfway point here tonight. The pace car hits pit road. River Hayes, James Curl, see the green flag. They're back rolling here at Bristol. Hayes fires off fairly strong. Curl's going to sit P2. Side-by-side battle right now. They're trying to figure it out. That's Formosa making a little bit of contact with Hosler. That looked fairly tight coming down the front stretch there, coming down the back stretch, and again, quite tight. Those two battling it out on the straightaways here at Bristol. Oh, Hosler has to, that car wiggles hard, and he's going to lose some speed and settle in for 4th. Back behind that group is Russ Despay and Ryan Pelfrey. Another battle for position there. Pelfrey just hasn't quite fired off the way he did at the beginning of the race there. The 33 car sitting in 6th right now. Then you got Steve Whitmore, Aaron Jackson, Hockley, and Derek Grigsby in the top 10. We go back up front and take a look. River, Hayes, James, Curl, all in line this top 5. While we've got the moment, let's ride on board with Formosa sitting 3rd as he makes laps here. Working to run down the leader here tonight at Bristol. Under caution again, Taylor Locklear in trouble. He's got that sun drop machine spun around on the front stretch. And that's going to bring the 4th caution out here tonight on lap 76. What happened to Taylor Locklear here as he came out of 4? We're going to find out. Down at 1 and 2, free and clear. We've seen a couple drivers make this mistake all starting. Brad Lee had a similar situation. Oh, no, that happened actually in front of Locklear. He was just able to lock it down. That may have been, was that Grigsby? It was. A little bit of contact happened towards the back of the field here. Bringing out the caution once again here at Bristol for Ohio Sim Racing's Xfinity Series Thursday nights right here on Turn 1. While we've got a quick opportunity, we're going to take a moment and step aside. River Hayes leads. James Curl, Scott Formosa, your top 3. You're watching Turn 1. Past halfway here tonight for the Turn 1's live coverage of the OSR Xfinity Series action here tonight at Bristol. I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you for being here again. Past halfway of 150 laps here. It's flying by pretty quickly. And you're in the right place to watch the very end of this thing. River Hayes leads, and then it's James Curl, Scott Formosa, Lane Hosler, Ross to Spain, your top 10, or I'm sorry, your top 5 rather. They re-rack it, get ready to go here. Robert Barber officially retired for the night, it looks like. So it is anybody's race up front here. We've seen a lot of competitive cars. Who's going to have the pace to bring home the checker flag here tonight for the Great Coliseum? The lights are on. Sparks are getting ready to fly. Pace cars down pit road. And they're seeing the green flag. Back green here at Bristol, lap 81. Hayes breaks out. Free and clear. Curl's going to roll the high side. He's going to have the momentum coming down the backstretch, side by side for the lead. James Curl alongside Hayes. He's going to tuck back in under him. And then Lane Hosler, Scott Formosa side by side. Hosler's going to make that move, and he's going to move up to that 3rd spot. Hayes free and clear by 4 car lengths. Then Curl's free by 2. Then it's going to be Hosler. Formosa, Pelfrey has moved up to that 5th spot on the restart. Russ to Spain right behind him. Steve Whitmore, Aaron Jackson battling it out right here. Then it's Chris Hockley, Patrick Schaefer. Hayes and Curl have been pretty bumper to bumper here. Let's take a look at lap times so they come back by. This looks like a pretty even speed here. Our leader that time ran a 15:59. James Curl a 15:54. So a couple 100s separate these two. But the fastest driver in the top 5 is going to be Scott Formosa. And right now he is sitting in that 4th place spot. These Xfinity cars don't necessarily have the same aero problems the Cup cars do. These are certainly a lot racier. And right now, they are nose to tail with another set of tires in the pits. Everybody's just waiting for the opportunity to either hit the go button or wait for another caution to fall here. Make a run to the very end. Aaron Jackson works around to Spain. That's going to bring Jackson up to 6th. Then Chris Hockley on the move. He is pressuring here in that back spot. Hockley sitting right now 8th. Russ to Spain is 7th. Steve Whitmore has fallen back tonight. Then it's Schaefer sitting in 10th. All eyes on this top 4. Nose to tail following the leader. As they come across the stripe here, Hayes gets a little loose. Lap 92 of 150. Curl right to the bumper. Almost pushing Hayes through the corner. Curl has to catch the car before it hits the wall. That's going to slow him up. Hoser then checks up. And the caution's out again. Schaefer in trouble. He gets the car pointed back in the right direction. Lap 94 is going to bring another caution out. Let's take a look. Find out what may have happened. The car just looked unsettled through 3 and 4. Then he gets into 1 and 2. It's probably just bound up, still unstable. He gets sideways. No contact out of anybody, though. And he's going to be able to get it going back straight. The caution's out once again. This is going to bring, this will bring the last pit stops of the night. I foresee River Hayes bringing the field down. They're going to go back green flag racing here with about 50 to go or so. And Hayes hits pit road. James Curl stays out. So does Lane Hosler. Ryan Pelfrey. This is going to split the field. A pretty big call with a big split. Curl, Hosler, Pelfrey, Hockley, Whitmore all elect to stay out on track. We'll cover how this is going to play out when we come back. You're watching Turn 1. Side by side, getting ready to get back. Green flag racing. It's Curl and Hosler on the front row. Again, these drivers did not come down pit road. We're going to see how this all plays out. Curl gets a rolling green flag back out here in Bristol. The first car to come was River Hayes. He's sitting 5th right now, but it's going to get dicey back here in traffic. He's going to fall back. Whitmore and Hockley side by side. That's going to stop the run for the drivers moving forward. Hockley to the high side, Whitmore to the bottom. Hayes really nowhere to go. Then it's Formosa to Spain behind him. They don't really have anywhere to go either. Meanwhile, up front, James Curl is starting to pull away with Lane Hosler. Ryan Pelfrey sitting 3rd. Big gaggle of cars here. This is new tires versus old. Hockley, Whitmore do not have new tires. Hayes, Formosa to Spain too. Still bottled up here. And now they're going to make it 3 wide out of the corner. Hockley goes up high. Formosa squeezes through to take 4th away. Hayes is now going to work around Whitmore, and Formosa is starting to blaze a trail. Looking to the outside of Ryan Pelfrey. Those new tires paying dividends here. Formosa's going to squeeze by. Meanwhile, Hosler and Curl nose to tail out down the back straightaway. These two are going to be a factor here, with Formosa going to try to drive forward. Formosa putting strong lap times down. 2/10 a lap last time versus the leader here. And Curl is, oh, we got Despain is sideways. He's into the wall. Caution out. So that's going to shake some things up. The drivers that did not come down to get tires before will now. I imagine we have seen how powerful those were. Formosa was on his way to chase down Lane Hosler. You can tell those Goodyears certainly making an impact here tonight. Firmly under the lines here tonight at Bristol for the Ohio Sim Racing Xfinity season action. Back from the summer break we are, and we're glad to have you here on Turn 1. Thanks so much for being here. Again, I want to express the gratitude to Ohio Sim Racing. Years of a relationship coming together here to bring you this race as Curl comes down pit road. He's also going to break Steve Whitmore. It looks like Ryan Pelfrey elected to stay out here. Maybe Ryan, oh, so did Lane Hosler. So maybe Ryan knows something we don't. Either way, caution out as we see pit stops happening here again on lap 107. You're watching Turn 1. Green flag back out here in Bristol. Lap 110. Hosler takes the lead. River Hayes is going to be pressuring here on those newer tires. Then back behind him, it's Formosa. He's going to squeeze by and get clear of Pelfrey. Hosler trying to hold off Hayes. Hayes now looking underneath him. Going to drive up the racetrack. Not going to be able to get there, but Hayes is going to drive it in again early, right there to the bottom. And Lane is just having too much off-throttle time. Has a bit of a wiggle there. Hayes gets by. New leader, River Hayes, on lap 112. Formosa's also going to squeeze by there. Ryan Pelfrey's going to sit in fourth. Aaron Jackson is fifth. James Curl, he's got the freshest tires on the track at the moment. He came down this last caution, 107. We'll see him start to drive through a little bit here, I imagine, with those new Goodyears on that car. But he's got to start with Aaron Jackson. He's going to look underneath Jackson. Not going to be able to get there, not have the nose, at least on quarter entry, but he does on exit. Curl's going to be even with Jackson, side by side off the corner. The problem with Curl is once it gets clear of Jackson, he really has nowhere to go. Jackson has to make a big move there. Oh no, another caution out. Looking for it. I don't see why. What may have brought that caution out here on 116? Looking around. See if this will give us any idea here what happened. No, that certainly didn't do it. Yeah, not sure what may have brought that out. Either way, under caution here again in Bristol for OSR. Xfinity action here tonight under the lights. And River Hayes going to be your leader. It looks like Pelfrey's going to come down and get that set of tires. This could be a big move for Pelfrey. We'll see if he's able to drive through the field with enough time. He's going to come back out with about 30 laps to go. River Hayes, Scott Formosa, Lane Hosler, James Curl, Aaron Jackson, top 5. We're going to step aside here for just a moment, and we'll bring you back for more racing action right here from Bristol. You're watching Turn 1. It's going to get sporty here with 30 laps to go from the, well, basically the race back from the summer break here for OSR Xfinity action at Bristol. Hayes in the lead, Scott Formosa sitting P2, Curl, Hosler, and Scott Hobson, Aaron Jackson, your top 5. Hobson on the outside, that's 6. Not a bad recovery for Hobson. He's up and moving here tonight. Green flag back out. Hayes gets free and clear. Curl's going to follow suit right in the tire tracks. Formosa's going to fall back to third. Hosler's in fourth. Jackson going to lose that spot to Hobson here. Hobson on the outside line, able to drive around Jackson. Back up front, though. It's Hayes out front by 3/10, now 5/10. And it's Curl, Formosa, Getting a little racy back here around Jackson. That's Russ to Spain poking the nose underneath. We talked about Ryan Pelfrey. He elected to come down this last time by. We're going to start to see those tires come to fruition here on the 33 car as the laps tick down. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness out of the 33. It's with some of the same move we have seen for a couple different drivers, just having trouble getting these cars pointed straight off the corner. Meanwhile, Hayes has got, I say that, he's got something figured out as he slides the right rear a little bit. Lap 124 set the fastest lap of the night. A 15:10. Everything's picking up. Oh, we're under caution here again. Whitmore in trouble. He had to tow down pit road. This is not a good sign for the 70. What happened here to bring out the caution again? Whitmore, Hockley side by side. That's Pelfrey right here off the nose. That looks like the normal move we have seen from a bunch of these drivers, just struggling on quarter exit and keeping the car underneath them. That's going to bring out another caution here at Bristol. Again, River Hayes out front here tonight for the Ohio Sim Racing Xfinity action on turn 1. Meanwhile, let's quickly talk about the schedule here for OSR. Tonight is the welcome back race, and then we are off for 2 weeks, and then back on the 24th for Mid-Ohio. We're going to go sports car. We're going to go, well, not sports car racing. We're going to go road course racing for the OSR group here on the on August 21st, and then we are back on the 4th. That's Dover Motor Speedway Thursday night, November 4th. I'm sorry, September 4th rather. And then September 11th, we head to Darlington. And then the playoffs kick off. And we are August 25th. Head to Charlotte, Iowa, Kansas, and then wrap it up at Las Vegas. For all the racing action, you can find it right here on Turn 1 for OSR. So we're glad you're with us. Under caution here. We're going to go back green flag with about 22 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car getting ready to head back down pit road. Back live here on turn 1. Hayes has got to hold him off for 22 more laps. James Curl right behind him has got 10 lap fresher tires. How's this all going to break out? Back green here at Bristol. Hayes gets rolling. Curl falls in the tire tracks, and it's Formosa. And then Scott Hobson. It's a 3-wide battle back here for 4th. That's Hobson, Jackson, Pelfrey, Despain in the mix. Hobson's going to move his way to 4th. Jackson's going to hang on to that 5th place spot, at least for a moment. Pelfrey's looking underneath him. Side by side. Off the corner, Pelfrey goes for a big slide. He's able to hang on to it. He's going to lose a spot. What a slide in recovery by Ryan Pelfrey. Out front, it's River Hayes, minding his P's and Q's, clicking laps off here. Out to a 4/10 of a second lead. James Curl sitting 2nd. Formosa sitting 3rd. And all of a sudden, all the excitement's slowed up just a little bit, but then I say that, we look right behind to Spain here. That's Chris Hockley, as well as Lane Hosler, who just came down pit road this last caution, took his last set of tires. Looking to drive his way through the field. Passing has been difficult here. He's going to look underneath Hockley. Hockley riding that outside line. Hoser's going to have to get by to Spain. It's going to be tough. Despain trying to hold the bottom of the racetrack. Hoser's trying to drive it in. Despain moves down and blocks Hosler. Hosler looks to the high line. He is going to have his nose into that high line there. He's going to drive around Despain. Now he just has to run down Ryan Pelfrey. He's running out of time to get it done. Speaking of getting it done, it's 15 to go here, and Hayes is continuing to hang on to that top spot by 4/10. James Curl, he's actually feeling a little bit of pressure. Here comes Scott Formosa starting to close in on the bumper just a little bit. Then we look back here. That's Aaron Jackson going to squeeze by Scott Hobson. That's for 4th. And then here comes Pelfrey now looking underneath Hobson. Meanwhile, Hosler is driven his way up to that 7th place spot and just set the fastest lap of the night at 15:09. But again, running out of real estate to make a move here on track. Sitting right here between these two racing side by side. No point in being overly aggressive. There's just nowhere to go. Hosler's going to follow Pelfrey by Hobson. But now he's got to get by the 33. Hosler's going to put the nose on the outside of Ryan. He's going to be there, take it deep to the outside, drive off the corner. Hosler's going to smack the wall, but it gets by Ryan Pelfrey back in the top 5. Give you perspective on track right now. Hayes is sitting, Hosler sitting 2.2 seconds back from our leader. And he's going to have to make that time up here really quick. Less than 10 to go. Hobson's falling through the field a little bit. Hockley's going to squeeze by him. Hoser's caught up to Aaron Jackson. Right to the bottom of the racetrack. Jackson goes high. Hoser needs to get by him here very quickly. I still don't think he's going to have enough time to get caught up. He's wore out that lead by 3/10, but it's going to be a long shot. He's running out of laps to get it done as River Hayes rolls through 3 and 4. He has transitioned firmly all the way up to that high line. Driving off the corner, has the car squared up, 0.7 of a second lead with 6 to go. Hoser was able to get by Jackson and Formosa. And continuing to roll the corner now, 1.5 seconds on back, and he's got to get by James Curl. 5 to go. This is going to be nearly impossible, but Lane Hoser on the move here. That gap down to 1.2 seconds. River Hayes comes across the stripe. 4 to go. Lane wants to see a caution. He's now down under a second. Hayes may be in trouble here on the last lap if he keeps it up. Curl's going to try to hold him off. Hoser's going to go to the high line. He gets blocked. They may make contact there. Hoser down to the bottom. This is not the holdup he needed, but he's going to get by Curl. 2 to go. 0.7 of a second separate River Hayes, Lane Hoser. Down the backstretch. Hoser's just got to get through 4 corners, but Hayes is closed into 2 car lengths. The white flag is out. Hosler is there, but he's going to run out of time to get to him. Hayes on the high side, Hosler on the bottom. It's going to be a drag race, but Hayes finishes it here in Bristol. River Hayes brings home the checkered flag by half a car length for the welcome back race for OSR here on turn 1. What an impressive finish. Hayes was able to hold him off. Lane Hoser was just about a lap short on making that work, and then James Curl's going to finish 3rd. We're going to step aside and watch River Hayes burn it down here at Bristol, and we'll bring you some post-race coverage right here on turn 1. Hayes burns it down here. Now on the front stretch of Bristol for the OSR return to turn 1 here for their Xfinity action. Nice win out of the 54. He's going to take that car to victory lane. Hopefully we get an opportunity to talk to a couple drivers here for post-race, but we'll find out. And again, meanwhile, we go back, or we come back rather, to OSR Xfinity action here in 2 weeks' time. Returning again August 21st rather, Mid-Ohio. It'll be a good time all around for everyone. River Hayes, your winner here tonight. We'll quickly talk with him. River, congratulations on the victory there. This racetrack looked pretty difficult and challenging in these Xfinity cars tonight. Talk to me from your perspective. How was the race going for you?
Yeah, it was pretty slick to start. We were killing the right rears at the beginning of the run. I was pretty slow at the beginning, just trying to get a feel for where we were going to get. I pitted there at lap 50, and then the lights started to go down. We had more grip. And then I decided to pit with about, 50 something to go, and then we had another quick caution, and as soon as James pitted, I figured I would be out to lunch, but luckily with the cautions fell at the right time, and I was able to stay in the front. Picking the top really helped on the restarts, so he couldn't get to my outside past me, but Lane was coming. If he had one more lap, I think he would have cleared me, so that was a nerve-wracking end there.
Yeah, River, you read my mind. I was going to ask you about that next. We saw Lane coming with that new set of tires. Did you have anything to hold him off? And we saw these tire deltas be surprisingly decent after about a 10-lap run. A good bit of fall off. Talk to me from a driver perspective and trying to manage that versus stay quick and what you can do to potentially hold off those advances.
I think maybe if we had, 10 more laps and we would have gotten a caution, I would have been able to hold him off for maybe a lap or two, but he was going to blow by me. The advantage is just so huge on fresh tires, especially at the end of the races whenever the track lays down a lot of rubber. It just gets so slidey, especially once your tires get heat in them. So I think I would have lasted about 2 laps against him, but luckily the race ended at 150 and not 151.
River Hayes, your winner here tonight. Back live on Turn 1. River, congratulations. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll talk to Lane Hoser, who was that driver moving through the field. Lane, what an impressive run here up through the field. I'm going to be honest with you. When you came down pit road and you were kind of tied back there behind, I think it was Hockley and Whitmore in that group, it didn't look very promising. What, in hindsight, could you have done a little differently there to move by him a little quicker, as it was just all about the way the cautions fell there at the end?
I think realistically it was just the way the cautions fell. That was my intention. Like I was planning on saving the last set of tires just in case this scenario became available, and I didn't know if it was going to work, but I figured I'd do everything I could to make it exciting. Driving through the field at Bristol is never an easy task, and it's definitely not a not stressful task. I think there was 1 or 2 instances where it was a little too close for comfort, but I wish the race was 155 laps, because I think I would have won by a decent little bit. The tires were huge there at the end. Honestly, congrats to River. He played it perfect.
Lane, we saw a lot of issues tonight on corner exit, especially off the 4, and Lane mentioned how difficult the right rear, or how punishing the right rears were here tonight. Talk to me from your perspective. How was it trying to keep it straight coming off the corner and keep the momentum down these straightaways here?
Honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of issue, but it's definitely you definitely have to pretend there's an egg under the throttle tonight. On corner exit especially, I was kind of trying to run the old school Bristol line, wrapping the yellow line as best I could, and that seemed to work out pretty well for me. I noticed a couple of times, I think it was James, he would get up a little bit on corner exit, and it was like the transition from the corner to the straight would upset the car, so I was trying to stay as low as possible on exit. That seemed to work a little bit better for me.
Well, Lane, listen, congratulations on the victory. What an impressive run here, especially towards the very end. And I look forward to talking to you here as the race, as the season winds on here throughout the late summer.
Yeah, thank you.
And host for bringing home P2 here tonight at Bristol for OSR action here on turn 1. We're going to wrap it up right there. What a great race. A little caution heavy in a couple instances, but that just shows how difficult these cars are. And I suspect when we head to Mid-Ohio, you're going to see some true talent appear with the likes of Britt Van Meter up front and Steve Whitmore up there. River Hayes also has been fast before in some of these more technical tracks, so we'll see it all shakes out right here on turn 1. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Vince. I appreciate you all being here. Have a great night. We'll see you on Sunday night for the Sunday Night Surge right here, 9 Eastern, 8 Central on turn 1. Good night, everybody.